Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thanks so much for stopping by. I'm excited today to share my latest project share. It is a Doily book or Doily album, and it's part of a swap that I'm doing with Amy Love here on YouTube. I have already shown the beautiful Doily album that she sent me, and I will make sure to link that below in the description box if you guys did miss that video. Amy Love and I do a swap almost every year, and we did a Christmas Doily swap, Doily album book swap this year, and this is the one I made. This is actually my first attempt at ever making a Doily album or Doily book, and I think I need to do a little tweaking the next time I do it because mine ended up being really chunky. It was so chunky that I started off with even another page on top of this one right here, and I did show this in a previous video. I made it into a wall hanging or an ornament because I had to take it out because it was so fat and I hadn't even finished decorating everything, so I did take this page out. But if I would have left this in, it would have been like 6 inches tall. But I did take it out, so now there's 4 pages in here, and it's still very tall, very chunky. I did measure it, you guys, and it's almost like 5 inches. That's how fat this book is. I'll show you the side of it here and this side, and it is almost completed. I have a couple items that I'm going to put in the pockets, but if you want to see what I exactly put into the pockets, you can watch Amy Love's channel because she'll do a video when she receives this from me, and I'll have a couple goodies in the pockets, but I have them sitting out right now. I didn't put them in. And then also, I think I'm going to buy a couple more charms, Christmas charms. I want to hang off a couple more Christmas charms, and I just didn't have any in my stash. So I'm hoping to do some shopping in the next couple days, and I will add those. So if you want to see what those look like, what this looks like with the charms, again, check out Amy's channel because you'll be able to see them on the book when Amy gets it. But for the most part, it is pretty well completed, and I did take a page in Amy Love's book. I originally was going to put mine together with a ribbon all the way through, but then when she sent me hers and she had a ring in it, I thought that might help a little bit with my bulk problem that I had on mine and make it not so bulky. And then of course when I added the ring to it, I thought I better add some Jingle Bells to it too, because I had all this empty space, and it was either going to be, I was either going to add more ribbons, or I decided to add the Jingle Bells just because I thought it was kind of fun. I had already planned on doing the closure with Jingle Bells, but I thought a few more Jingle Bells wouldn't hurt, so I added some more there to it. And I added lots of layers of lace. I did a lot of gathering of lace on these, and I will unhook this so I can show it to you guys better. I did just end up using like a little clasp that you would use for making jewelry for my closure, and then I just hook it on to part of the doily that's underneath here just for my closure, and of course I added Jingle Bells to it. But I'll hold this up first, up really close. And as far as the digitals I used, I did print them on canvas paper, and the digital company that I used is called Nostalgie Graphic Land. It's somebody in Germany that has that Etsy store, and I'll have that link listed below too, along with Amy Love's channel if I haven't already said that. So I did use one of those Etsy kits. There's that person, I don't know if it's a girl or a guy that owns the company. I'm assuming it's a girl, but I'm not sure. But she has all sorts of fun shabby stuff, and she has a lot of Christmas stuff. So I did use one of her sets that I purchased a while ago. And it was kind of shabby chic colors because Amy loves shabby chic, and she likes pink and white. And then she also likes eyelet lace, and she also likes Battenberg lace. So I have a fair amount of eyelet lace, so I try to use a lot of eyelet lace throughout here. And I think, but I guess Amy will have to let me know, on my pocket pages I used like a little like coaster that I think has Battenberg lace on it, but I'm not sure. She'll have to let me know if that's Battenberg lace, because I only have a few other pieces of Battenberg lace or doilies, and I decided to gift some of them to Amy in our swap. So So anyways, this first one I did start off with two doilies right here. In the middle is a piece of felt. And then I also, in between the two, I sandwiched at least one piece of some sort of lace. So on this one, I did use some eyelet lace with some flowers on it. On top of that, I layered a piece of this really pale pink lace that I've had in my stash. I think it's an older lace. I don't know if I call it vintage, but maybe semi-vintage. It's like from the early 80s, I think. And then another piece of eyelet lace. And then I have this other really fun gathered lace that I picked up at a store when I was in Florida. And I wish I would have bought more of it. It was just in a set. It's really pretty lace. And I also added a little stick pin with an angel on it. And to decorate it out, I did add some of this really fun rosette trim. I just thought it matched perfectly with the image. There's some little flowers in there, some pink roses. And the image does say a joyful Christmas on it. I layered up a applique that had the flower on it. There's some pearls and a rhinestone in the middle of it. At the bottom, I layered up a whole bunch of different little flower pieces, some ribbon roses, some other flowers. This flower came off of a trim that I cut off. This one is part of the applique that was part of this applique right here. This flower right here. And then underneath there, you can see I have another layer of trim. I have these dangles that came from Angel Dream Crafts. It's a Venice lace that I just love. These ones are fun for snippets. And then also under here, I did layer another piece of this dangle trim, and that also came, this fringe trim, that also came from Angel Dreams Crafts. And then when I open it up, the first page, so every set has a pocket page on it except for the back side. And so all my pocket pages look very similar. They started off exactly the same. I was trying to keep them a little bit flatter because when I started making this doily book, I did the front sides and I should have did the front and the back. That was one thing I kind of learned as I went, is to decorate the front and then the back just to see where you are height-wise. But I started off decorating all the fronts, and then I realized I was in trouble and I had to take out one of the pages that I made into that ornament. So on the pocket pages anyways, I tried to make them a little bit flatter. And so I did start off with this piece of material that I stitched around on all of them. I did add, and this was part of a, I believe it's like maybe a coaster. It was a square coaster, and I folded it over and cut off some of the trim. And I think this is Battenberg lace, but I'm not sure. You'll have to let me know, Amy. But that's what all my pockets started off looking like. And then on top of that, then I layered different things. Like this one had like a wedding, some wedding trim. I added some more flowers in different spots. I had this fun little flower still in my stash. It had a rhinestone in it, some more rosette flowers. I also tried to put a jingle bell on all of the pages somewhere. And again, I want to add charms to each page, but I didn't have any, or I didn't have enough Christmas charms. I only have one in here, I think, and it's an angel somewhere. That was the only one I had in my stash. And underneath this flower, I had another trim that had some leaves on it that I cut off. And in between this layer, I had two more layers of dangle trims. I have some pink and some white underneath there. So that's that page, and I'll stick something in here for Amy. Oh, here's the angel charm that I had. This is the only one I had in my stash currently, so. And on the next one, I added, of course, a jingle bell. There's, again, several layers. In between this one, I added this beautiful sheer lace that I gathered up. Another eyelet trim. It's different than the previous one, than the previous page. I also had this sheer lace with a little bit of pink on the edge. And I actually think I got this lace from Amy Love way back when I first started getting into more fabric and lace crafts. She had a D-stash, and this trim was in her D-stash. So I've had it in my stash for a while. But I did add it to this. I like the little bit of pink showing on the outside. And on the inside of this one, I have a really cute reindeer image in pink, again from that same German Etsy company. And on top of this one, then I layered down here, I have this trim right here with, and it's all part of the same trim. It has the little flowers on top with the pearls. It has this little layer, and then it has a dangle layer on it. And I got that from Lisa, who's Charlisa's Crafty Corner. Also, again, she had a D-stash, and I bought that from her quite a while ago. And then on the top half, and you're only going to see bits of it, I did have another piece of an applique hanging out. And like I said, you only see bits of it. I added these two little flowers right here, rosette flowers, and they have dangles on them. And those I got from Ivy, Ivy Ling on YouTube. And then I had these cute little pink flowers. Again, that came from a trim that I got in a swap. I can't remember who that came from. And I'm down to like one more piece of the flower left. And then at the top, I added this vintage piece of bling. It has some rhinestones and pearls in it. And I just love that piece right there. And I think I got that one from Maggie White, I think. And then when you flip it over, also in between this layer, I do have some fringe trim. It's pink. That also came from Angel Dream Crafts. I don't think she currently has it in her store, but hopefully she'll get it in again soon, because that's where the white fringe came from, and I just love that type of trim. And then again, when you flip it over, you see another pocket page. More of those pink flowers. Another Jingle Bells on here. I have some vintage pieces of like bridal trim that I actually cut off of a wedding dress up here. I also use some more of that rosette trim to edge it out, the pocket. And then also on this pocket, I have some little heart lace right here that's really sweet. I know Amy Love also likes heart, so I tried to include a heart somewhere in here. And that same pocket, and then I have another dangle lace that came from Angel Dream Crafts under here. And on top of that, I don't know if it's going to show up very well, but I added these flat back. They're not really pearls, but they look like opals. And I've had those in my stash for a long time, and I just love in person. They catch the light differently, and they look like different colors depending upon how the light's shining on them. So it picks up a lot of the pink colors that are going on in this page. On the next page, I added another, started off the same. I have several layers. This one I have some sheer trim in the middle. Then I have this pink kind of cotton trim on top of it. Another piece of eyelet trim, and I have a Jingle Bell added to it. And on top of that one then, I did have this gathered pink like ribbon trim that I edged my image out. Again, another digital image from that same company. It's Santa Claus. And in kind of some shabby colors with a Christmas tree. And it just says Christmas on it. And then on top of this one, I have another applique. I added some flowers. Another piece of bling. And there's another flower underneath there. I also edged out this piece right here. I had this rosette trim. And then I have another trim with little hearts on it. And at the bottom, another kind of applique that I cut up. You can see the pieces sticking out. I have some little flowers right here that I added, some applique flowers. I had these loopy 3D flowers. And then this other piece of bling, and this piece of bling came off of a larger piece that I got, again, from Ivy Ling that I used. And then I have this other little fringe trim under here to complete that page. And then the next page, again, another pocket page. Started off with that same pocket. I do have this little ribbon right here that I glued down across the top, and it has kind of a shimmer to it, and so it really picks up the pink. And on top of that, I had a little applique piece that I added. And around all the edges, I have another piece of trim right here that I added. I also added some more little ribbon roses and flowers. I had these pieces of bling in my stash that I added. Some more of these types of flowers. Some more ribbon roses down here. And this one also has two sets of dangles on it. And again, I think this one set right here that I used, this one and then that pink one earlier that looks like this one, that one also came from Lisa, who's Charlisa's Crafty Corner here on YouTube. I got those from her in a D-stash. And then the last page has a really nice image of a little angel on it. And again, a couple layers. I had a sheer layer in this one and another eyelet lace. You can see another layer right here of some trim that I cut up. I added another Jingle Bell. And then I had this sheer lace right here, gathered lace. And then on top of that, I had an applique, and on top of the applique, I added ribbon roses. I also added this flower on top, and again, that was from Ivy Ling. And down here, I had another flower. I added another flower trim that had a flower and this dangle on it. And then I went ahead and added a heart on top of that and the two little flowers. The Jingle Bell again, if I didn't mention that. And I think that's all I did to that page. And then in between that page, I added some of the white dangle lace, again from Angel Dreams Crafts, Kim on Etsy, and I had a little bit more of this trim that I had picked up again, I think in Florida when I was traveling a couple of years ago. More of this rosette or flower trim around the edge. And you can see on the inside I layered up some trim that I cut up. And on top of that, I added a flower and then another flower with the pearl in the middle. And then, of course, some flat back pearls in the middle. And then I just used that as my back page. And again, it just hooks with a little clasp onto this doily wherever it fits. And that seemed to work well for a closure. So again, that is my completed doily book for Amy Love here on YouTube. Hopefully she likes it. I don't think I will show this video until after she's received it. So again, hopefully you guys are all having a wonderful day and happy crafting.